Well, thank you very much for inviting me and for your kind words. You start with the microcredit. Microcredit was a kind of a question that we raised, that banking system is not designed properly, designed the right way, because it neglects serving the vast majority of the people in the world. And the financial system is designed to serve the people who already have lots of money. It's attracted to people who have the maximum amount of money rather than less amount of money. So it works for top people, not the bottom people. And the bottom people are the massive number of the people around the world. And we are told that it's not because they don't want to do that. They said the people are not creditworthy. So I challenge the question whether they should be blaming the people for their own failure. I said it's not the question of people's failure; it's a question of raising it a different way. It's not about not being creditworthy. It's a question of not being banks not being people worthy. They have not designed themselves for serving the poor people. So I designed something along the way and created Grameen Bank to answer their question that it cannot be done. I wanted to demonstrate that it can be done. And people keep asking, how did you design it? What are the elements in it? So I keep repeating that all I have to do is to look at the conventional banks, how they do it. Once I learn how they do it, I just do the opposite. And everything they do, I do the opposite. They go to rich people, I go to poor people. They go to men, I go to women. They go to city center and big cities to open their facilities, open their branches. We go to remote villages and continue to work in remote villages and villages after that. Grameen Bank never works in any cities. They concentrated in the villages. Bangladesh has 85,000 villages, and every single village has Grameen programs operating, Grameen branch operating there. So, and conventionally, they want the borrowers to come to their premises to do their work, to their business done. We say that should not be it. People should not come to the bank. Bank should go to people. So we created a system where it's delivered at their doorstep and so on. And we dismissed the whole idea of collateral. Banks want collateral for everything they do. Whatever they want to give you against that, they want to make sure they're secure. They get the collateral. We dismiss the whole idea of collateral. There's a fundamental challenge to the banking system. And we created a banking system dismissing the collateral system. Since we don't have collateral, we don't have lawyers in our system. So it's a lawyer-free banking. And it works. Now Grameen Bank has over 10 million borrowers, 97% women, and repayment rate is near 100%. 97, 98% always, never fell below that. So they cannot say that it doesn't work and it doesn't cover the cost and so on. And the conclusion that I came when we talk about poverty, that poverty is not created by the poor people. Poverty is created by the system that we have built. It's a system fault. It's not the fault of the people. People are as good as anybody else. And I give the example of bonsai. I said, look at the bonsai. You take the seed of the tallest tree in the forest, put it in a flower pot. It grows, the tree grows exactly like the one that you see in the forest, but grows only half a meter tall. It's a good replica, but doesn't grow more than that. I said, poor people are like bonsai people. Nothing wrong with the seed, but the society never gave the space to grow as tall as everybody else. So it's a fault of the design that we make. Design built walls, not to facilitate people to come out of the trap that they are put into. So this is how we go into it. Then we look at the COVID-19. When it came, you remember, massive number of people were pushed down to poverty immediately. And it's not in millions, even they're touching the billion mark. And that's the kind of things, what happens. A little bit of disturbance, it creates a very fragile kind of existence they have, and that disappears completely. Then comes the Ukrainian war. We are talking about it as a war as if it's a local war. Today it is a global war. because you cannot see any single country, any single person in a country who is not who is not negatively impacted by that war because of the inflation, because of the problem of the marketing and problem of the job retaining and so on and so forth, and all the impact on the agriculture. Some countries are even worrying about famine coming in, but famine, even if the famine doesn't come, but people have an extremely difficult time to survive right now. So this is the kind of a very fragile system that we built, because we built in a way, we assumed in the entire economic system that people are driven by self-interest. So economics made us selfish people. And we are running after money. Profit maximization is our goal. And that's where everything went the wrong way. Not only we created massive poverty, we created global warming. Global warming is a product of the system, not something that is imposed by somebody else from outside. We created this global warming and continue in the suicidal path. And we have really done nothing to address that issue in terms of systemic solutions. We continue to create global warming and continue to talk about how to address that, while scientists are telling us that we don't have much time left, maybe 3 decades, maybe luckily for us, if we can survive up to four decades. So we are truly in a suicidal path. What we talk about that before the present civilization, which is based on profit maximization, destroys us, we have to find a way to save ourselves by creating a new civilization. That's the only option. Moving away from being selfish people, moving away from being money-making robots. We have to discover ourselves as human beings and create a civilization which is based on human values. That's where we talk about redesigning of the entire financial system. This financial system is creating extreme wealth concentration. All the wealth goes in the one direction and make it happen that the poor people remain at the bottom, and a handful of people at the top makes all the wealth. Even during the pandemic, trillions of dollars went into the top, while massive number of people pushed into the poverty. So that's not the kind of system we want to continue. So we have to disengage ourselves from that, create a system, and we have to discover that we are not only driven by self-interest, we are also driven by collective interest. And we have to build a business for the collective interest. And we created something called social business. Social business is to solve problems rather than make money for anybody. So it's a non-dividend business to address problems. And we have created many of these social businesses, encouraging academicians to discuss this in the classroom and to the business school to talk about different kinds of business, 2 kinds of business, one for making money, one for solving the problems without having any interest in making money for yourself. And that idea has got into multinational companies. We created social businesses in collaboration with multinational companies, with Danone, with Euglena, with Uniqlo in Japan, with McCain in Canada. And so these are the kind of thing. And also one point that's missing in the conventional economics, that human beings are treated as a potential job seeker. That's the only ultimate goal human beings can look for that. I think that's an extremely harmful description of human goal. Human beings are not born to work for somebody else. Human beings are born to unleash the creative energy each one of us has, so that we become truly contributing to the society and contributing to the planet. And this is the direction we have to go. So we are basically born as entrepreneur rather than job seeker. So this is a misdirection of human energy. So education system has to be redesigned so that we come out of the universities not as job seeker, but as fully equipped entrepreneurs to do that. And in order to do that, financial institutions also have to get ready, because finance is key to entrepreneurship. Finance is the oxygen of entrepreneurship. If you cannot provide that oxygen, you cannot explore your entrepreneurial capacity. So that's the element which will be happening in the new civilization that I talk about. It will be a civilization which will be of 3-0: zero net carbon emission, zero wealth concentration, and zero unemployment. So these are the basic feature of the new civilization that we have to build. I'll stop here and let you ask
Andreas.
further.